That's right, it eats plants and meat. So he would eat a lot of bugs and grubs, that would be his meat, and then he'd eat a lot of vegetables. He doesn't need a whole lot of room, he doesn't do a whole lot of climbing around, and he's cold-blooded. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep him kind of warm. And you know why they call him a ball python? If something scares him, he curls up in a real tight little ball, and he'll put his head right in the middle to protect it. And you can actually almost roll him across the ground when he does that. He ties himself up so well. What's really cool about cold-blooded animals is they don't have to eat every single day. You know how often Monty eats? Monty eats once a month. Some of you that have seen us before have probably seen Brutus. Brutus kind of goes everywhere with me. And when I walk around it, look at Brutus's little feet. Brutus is actually missing toes. Brutus is called a runt, which means he's not going to get very big. And when I got Brutus, I got him because I rescued him from 2 other gators trying to eat him. They grabbed his little toes and they ate a couple of his toes. And they tried to rip off his arm, so his arm was in bad shape for a while. And we even thought he was going to lose an eye, but he healed up very, very well. And these guys, did you guys know these guys have been around since the time of the dinosaurs? Long, long time. And they haven't changed a whole lot. That means they're built perfect. They don't need to change a lot to survive. We have some big gators at our place, a little bigger than this. And we never, ever walk up behind them, because what happens is, they're going to use that big tail, and they're going to try to whack you with it. And when they whack you with a tail, you know what they're going to do? They're not trying to break your legs. They're going to throw their head back at the same time. They're trying to throw you into the mouth. That's pretty clever, isn't it? Called scoots. And they're full of blood vessels and calcium, the same stuff that's in our bones. And when you see a gator laying out in the sunlight, what he's doing is, because he can't make his own heat, when he lays out, all the sunlight goes in these scoots and these little bumps, and it gets trapped like a solar panel. So when he's laying out in the sun, he's trying to get as much heat as possible. And then you know what happens at night? At night, all the alligators go in the water because the water is warmer than the air, and those scoots let the heat out. And that way he can go ahead and survive pretty good overnight, even when it gets very cold out. You guys want to see something really cool? Yeah. Brutus here, so when he's underwater, believe it or not, it's a straight shot down his throat. Well, what I'm going to show you is a very special flap on the back of his throat that stays up. So when he goes to grab that fish or that turtle or frog, whatever he's after, he won't drown. And I'll walk around so everybody can see this. He'll bring it up to the surface of the water and he'll kick his head way back. When he kicks his head back, that flap will go down and that's when he can swallow. You guys see all those sharp pointy teeth? Okay? He doesn't have any flat teeth like us. Why do you think we have flat teeth? Do you know? Why? That's right. We use our flat teeth to chew our food. Okay? Now he doesn't have to chew his food. When he gets his food, he grabs it and he swallows it whole. But if he gets something too big to swallow whole, you know what he does? Go ahead.
Death roll.
Death roll, he's right. And I've actually seen it. He'll clamp down on it and he'll roll his whole body about 4 or 5 times. And when he rolls around like that, he breaks his food up into much smaller pieces. And you guys know what nocturnal is, right? What's nocturnal?
He sleeps during the day and
That's right, up at night. So Opie kind of just woke up from a nap. He's kind of having a bad hair day, isn't he? So, now Opie here, Opie is very special to us. Opie came in from a neighbor who found him when he was teeny tiny. He was a little tiny baby. He didn't have a mom, and she did a really good job feeding him with a baby bottle and raising him. But then when he got big enough to go to the wild, she didn't know how to do it, so she brought him to us. And we get a lot of Florida natives in that have to go back to the wild. And you know what we do before we let them go? We put them through tests to make sure that they'd survive. Opie here failed every test really bad. You know the first test he failed? When you put an animal down that's going to go to the wild, you want it to stay away from people. Well, Opie here came running towards me, and it was a good thing I was wearing jeans because he ran right up my leg and wanted to cuddle. And the next thing we did We put him in a big cage with a lot of leaves on the floor, and we threw dog kibble everywhere, and he was supposed to find all the dog kibble and eat it. But Opie here, he's either very lazy, very stupid, or very smart. He might be very smart because you know what he did?
Crawled up your leg.
Unless you have a bowl or a dish, he's not going to look for his food. If he was in the wild and he saw something that was dead and all nasty and decaying, he would eat it and not get sick. And he's just like a vulture or a buzzard. These guys are the trash men of the wild. So they can eat all this stuff and not get sick, and they clean up the environment so other animals don't get sick. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, and you know what's kind of neat about Opie here? Besides being a cuddler, he actually thinks I'm Mom. Do we look a little alike? That Opie here, he's extra special in another way. These guys are very special to North America. They're all over the place, but they're very unique. One thing that makes them unique is it's the only animal in North America that's a marsupial. You guys know what a marsupial is?
It's a mammal with a pouch.
That's right. His mommy had a pouch for babies. And these guys are the only ones that have pouches like kangaroos. So we're afraid if we let him go and he tried to hang from a tree, he might fall and die. So that's why we decided to keep him. And you want to hear something else that's really cool about possums?
Yeah.
If you corner a possum, if you get near a possum, one of two things is going to happen. If you're lucky, he's going to play possum. You know what that is?
Play dead.
Play dead, that's right. If you're unlucky, he's going to come at you hissing and growling with his mouth wide open. And he has 52 sharp teeth. You know the only mammal that has more teeth is a dolphin. Okay? So he's got all these sharp teeth, and if you get bit by a possum, he's got all that nasty stuff in his mouth, all that bad bacteria. You're going to get sick very quick, but you know what you don't have to worry about? He's a warm-blooded mammal like us and like dogs and cats and raccoons, but you can't get rabies from a possum. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Just move fast.